What's up, guys? I'm Nick. I am owner and pitmaster here at Reese Bros BBQ. Come check it out.
How long have you had this location? How did it start?
We've been here for about 2.5 years. We got our start in a food truck.
How was the first couple months for you guys?
It took off pretty quick. I mean, it's been steadily growing. We did a lot of pop-ups in town, like to grow our brand and our name before we ever did a service here. So when it was time to opening up, we had like a pretty good little following.
Over any career in the world, why barbecue?
I took a job out of college in Austin at a barbecue joint. Kind of honestly fell in love with it there. Didn't plan on getting into barbecue my whole life. Fell in love with by accident and have been having a great time doing it ever since. It's challenging, but I think that's something that we enjoy about it. It keeps you on your toes. The primitive cooking techniques and methods, from just that to figuring out how to run a business and staying on top of food costs and everything that goes into it. There's a lot. It's rewarding, it's fun. We've got a really, really great small team here. That's one of our best things about doing this and owning our own business is build a real tight-knit, small, great team. And something that we take pride in.
My name is Gabe or Gabo Perez. I've been here at Reese Bros coming up on 3 years. I met them before we even got the restaurant and just haven't left. They haven't found a way to kick me out yet, so I'm still here. All right, so here we got our two Moberg smokers from Dripping Springs, made by Sony Moberg, Leonard and Skinnerd, 500-gallon pits. We got insulated fireboxes, cook super, super well, super dark. We like to cook a lot of our quick cooks, so ribs, turkeys. We got chicken wings on it. We'll cold smoke some sausage, but primarily we'll do the quick meats. It gets really good color. We'll cook briskets on it occasionally, smaller cooks. But like I said, they get really, really good color, really fast, so we love to cook on that, get the damper down nice and hot. So we got Central Texas post oak over here from Chief Firewood. We have some bigger splits for our bigger pit that I'm fixing to show y'all right here, and then we have some smaller splits for these. It kind of just helps control temperature a little bit better with the smaller splits. Yeah, so we get one small cage, and then we get just the rest of them normal. We kind of use that smaller cage primarily for these two 500 gallons. They're so insulated, so we really don't need to use as much wood as we do for the longer brisket cooks on the big pit. So in here in our pit room, we have our 1,000-gallon primitive pit, uninsulated firebox. This is primarily where we cook a lot of our briskets. So this one doesn't get as good of a color as the two 500 gallons, but you're cooking briskets for 12, 13 hours. They get plenty of smoke on them. But right now we got some sausage on it. It's a great cold smoker because it's not very well insulated. It's got a little bit of air gaps in it, but we've learned how to cook on it, so it works for us really well.
This is our queso fundido link. It's a link that we always have. It's a beef and pork blend. It's got a pretty simple chorizo spice mix, and then we put Oaxaca cheese and serrano chilies in it. Yeah, it's got kick. It's got a lot of familiar South Texas flavor with the chorizo spices that are going on. It takes about 3 days from start to finish. We take our meat and our spices and get everything seasoned. We're letting everything cure for 24 hours before we start grinding it and mixing it, casing it. And then we're letting that sit another day before we get to this process where we're cold smoking it. We're burning a fire, but keeping the temps below 100, ideally below 150 degrees, just until they start to kind of get this nice red color. The casings really start to dry out. It'll give it kind of that snap that you're looking for in sausage. Yeah, these have been cold smoking for about an hour and a half. We'll let them go for another hour until we kind of gradually start bumping up the temperature. We'll cool them down, rapidly cool them down in an ice bath, and then we'll bring them back one more time. That process just really helps to get the casings really nice and dried out and get that real snappy texture you're looking for.
What's the point of putting them in an ice bath? Why is that important in the process?
Just stopping the cooking process really quickly. If you leave them out, if we got them really hot and then left them out to cool slowly, they're gonna release a lot of steam, and then that's just a lot of the moisture that we want to retain. So when we put them in an ice bath, it stops that cooking process really quickly.
Is barbecuing easy?
No, I don't think so. It's really rewarding. It is something that we're constantly trying to get better at, get more efficient with. We're constantly trying to improve. But it's rewarding when you get the reaction and you get the praise for what you've been doing. Then it's definitely worth it. You have to want to do it. You have to want to do it the right way. want to do it the long way usually.
When somebody comes to Reese Brothers for the first time, what do you really want them to take away?
The experience is really important for us. We take a lot of pride in what we do, but we also want people to feel like really comfortable when they're here. So we've got a real laid back environment. Customer service is super important to us. We take like really classic Central Texas cooking like methods and techniques. Yeah, we kind of fuse those like classic techniques with flavors that we think are really representative of like San Antonio and South Texas in particular. We like a lot of spice. We cook with a lot of South Texas chilies, a lot of dried chilies. And yeah, we like to kind of mesh like what we think is like a really approachable and like traditional cuisine and food category in Texas barbecue, and then the flavors that inspire us here, and sort of definitely spice it up. Everything we have on the menu has got some heat and everything's got a little kick. So it's we like to put our sort of our spin on what are pretty familiar and traditional like side and proteins like pork spare ribs and turkey breast and house-made sausage. Our poblano mac and cheese is definitely our most popular side item and probably our most unique as well. It's something that is done in South Texas a lot. We use a poblano cream sauce from poblanos, spinach, jalapenos, serranos, lots of different peppers. All of that, when we blend it, gives it a really, really green, like a bright green color, which is like, you know, very unique in terms of like the flavors we get from it. People who haven't ever seen it before are like, I think, usually kind of surprised by it. Our beans are unique. We've got a lot of fresh okra in it, which kind of gives it a unique texture, kind of a complex flavor. They're real good. It's honestly just like how we like to eat barbecue. We're not like bound by any family recipes or any like tradition that we have to follow. Kind of like built the menu out of stuff that we like to eat. But we do a torta with refried beans, avocado, your choice of protein, and then it's got cabbage and it's like a spicy green salsa that we make in-house. Familiar for folks down here, but usually doesn't come with like carnitas or brisket. Or we're just like constantly bouncing ideas off of each other. Thankfully, we like a lot of the same stuff. When we find something that does work, we can get it on the menu like quick. We're such a small crew and team. If somebody finds something that works, it's likely on the menu like that week.
What's the process like for the turkeys?
Yeah, super simple. Salt and pepper and butter is all the turkeys get. We're just like trying to get a really nice color on them. So we cook them 2.5, 3 hours, but everything's really set on them and they've got a nice golden kind of color to them. We all love it. It's like definitely like our staff. It's like a staff favorite here. Whether it's like on a sandwich or a torta, I would say the staff eats more turkey than like brisket or ribs or sausage or anything else here. The secrets to it, we honestly just like use a lot of butter when we're cooking it. There's a secret, it's just like don't skimp on the butter. Temperatures are important, obviously, but like getting it right at 155, 160 degrees isn't something that we really, really worry about. With all the butter that we use, we're not like really, really worried about like drying it out through overcooking it. We're more worried about like the sort of like texture and the feel.
So what do you think makes like really great barbecue?
I think just like cooking with wood and not getting that flavor via like liquid smoke or pellet smoke or anything like that. I think that something that we love, you know, about Texas barbecue and great barbecue is like how simple the cooking methods and techniques are. There's like nothing better than that like smell of like a real fire burning. If we're cooking briskets, we start kind of burning like a dirty fire, and then as we like continue the cooking process, we're kind of like cleaning the fire up a little bit, cooking with more heat. What helps us out is kind of knowing a point where we want to get the fire to, and then being comfortable being able to like let it sort of like run its course.
Something about just cooking with fire, the primitive style of cooking like that is just not only just the way you're cooking and the flavors you get out of it, just the like breaking bread essentially. You know, everybody comes together for barbecue, everybody's having a good time, you got good music, everybody's got a beer or something they're drinking and having a good time. It's just the atmosphere that it brings, you know, along with the food is just something that you can't beat, especially here in Texas and especially in San Antonio. It's just something that you can't beat. I don't know, kitchens traditionally are a very high stress, high intensity, line of work, and at the end of the day, it's still the same people that we come in, start in the morning in, and we get out in the afternoon with. It's just, making it fun. You know, you're gonna have to, it's a job, you have to be with these guys no matter what. Even though we tease each other a lot, we have a lot of tough love. It's just a lot of fun with the people we got here. It's the vibes are definitely a very important part of working at Reese Bros for sure.